what's up? It's Raphael with NBA Draft Junkies, and today I have a special guest. This interview was set up by my man, the Turkish protege, Kuzey. So, Kuzey,
Hi.
introduce yourself, and you can actually go ahead and introduce your guest that you brought on today.
Hello, everybody. I am Kuzey. We have a special guest for 2020 NBA Draft, Yves Pons. Hello, Pons. How are you?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I am good. Pons is one of the best talented prospects for this draft, especially from the international pool. He played in Tennessee. So, yeah.
All right. So I want to ask you first, what's the correct pronunciation of your name? I've heard it pronounced like so many different ways. I've heard.
It's Eve, like Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay.
Pons.
Oh.
So no S at the end of Eve, but there's an S in Pons. So Pons.
Okay, because I've heard Svi Pons, I've heard V Pons.
All the time. So
yeah.
That's fine.
Yves Pons. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my first question to ask you is, what did you do last summer to make such a big jump? I mean, you only averaged about 2 points a game your sophomore year, and then out of nowhere, coming into your junior year, you made a big change statistically. What did you do last summer?
Well, it started during my sophomore year. So my sophomore year, at the beginning of the season, I started like 13 games. To the conference games, like I got put up the starting five, and I kind of get benched a lot. So like at the end of the season, I didn't play much. Like I was playing like 5-10 minutes maximum, and I was really frustrated because I had a good start, and I feel like really frustrated. So like at the end of the season, when the season is over after March Madness, like I wanted to play, like I needed to play. So I went to LA, working out with Rico on the ranch, Rico Ranch, and over there I worked like
Rico Hines.
Rico Hines.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I got to play against pro NBA guys, G League guys, like international guys. And like he helped me a lot over there. Like I work individually with different coaches, and kind of put my skills and my level to another level. And then I went to France, play with the French national team under 20 over the summer. And over there, like my responsibilities were much higher. So I was a big piece of the team. So we were trying to play around me. So that was really like something different from the season I had, because I was kind of on the side. So kind of my leadership went to another level. And even if I didn't play like I wanted, like during the under 20 championship, like I still developed some like leadership, and my confidence level went to another level again. And then after that, I went back to LA a second time, and this time so it was like mid-August, and in mid-August, like in the Rico Hines, like all the pros are here, all the pro NBA guys, and like James Harden was here, like Kevin Durant was here, and I get to play against those guys. And like for me, that was a big challenge, because I got to guard like NBA guys. I get to play against them like offensively, defensively. I got to guard him. Like I guard James Harden. Like he was working on his step back threes, one leg threes. I don't know how to do that, but like so when I was on him, like I did everything I can like to stop him, and I did a good job on it actually. So I was so happy about it, because I knew I went to another level during the summer, and I was so proud of myself because I improved my skills, I improved my back. So when I come back to universities, still starting to working out with coaches and work on my shot and stuff like this. And I got to switch to the 4 position, and like I was playing the 3, and like since all the older guys left to the NBA, like Admiral Schofield, so like nobody was here in the 4, and since I'm like physically gifted, like I could play the four position. So that's why I did that. Then I had to adjust to these new four positions. And I think it kind of helped me to expose my skills, everything I did in LA, and helped me to have more confidence and have more opportunities to show my skills, you know. So
And that was one of my questions that I wanted to ask you. Do you see yourself as a 3 or as a 4? But it looks like you answered that.
yeah, actually, I don't really care about the 3 or the 4. I can play both. I think I kind of multi-position guy, so I feel great playing the three. Like I feel great playing the 4. So
I have a question for your stories. You were adopted by Babbitt and Jean-Claude Pons when you are 4 years old. What would you like to say about them?
well, there's not much to say about it. I mean, I got adopted when I was 4.5. So when I was in Haiti, I just know it was a rough time over there, and like the 4 years I spent with it was just I was just in surviving mode. So that was a different time, and I mean, I don't have much a souvenir of it, and I don't remember like not much, but the souvenir I had was not really good. So I'm not going to talk about it, but I just want to say that was a tough time. And I think I got lucky to get adopted by my fresh parents, and I think they just saved my life, because today, if they didn't choose me, I won't be here. So that's just a blessing.
Well, I want to ask you about French basketball. So I've been fortunate enough to be around some of the best young French players. And I had mentioned offline some of the guys that I know that I see around this area in Dallas that I live in. I went to, I think the first time I got really introduced to the French basketball prospects was at the 2016 under 18s in Turkey. And France won that year. It was with Frank and Sekou was like 15 at the time. So ever since then, I've just kind of like had an interest in the French basketball scene, and then obviously, France beat the USA and the World Cup this year. So they're definitely a country or program on the rise. What do you think is the reason why the French basketball prospects are now entering the NBA, and there's so many talented French prospects that are up and coming?
I think there's different things. Well, I think the second country with the most physical and athletic guys.
Maybe Canada. I'm torn between France and Canada. I think it's the same path, but it's debatable.
Yeah.
But I can see why you could say France is second when it comes to just natural gifts and athleticism, but Canada's not too far behind.
Yeah, Canada too, but like Canada doesn't really count, because for me, Canada is like part of the United States. Like,
Well,
they
don't think
it's like something. I think for me, it's something. I think the United States kind of starting to open up toward the European guys, and like France and like say Canada, and I think they got more open, and they're trying to go overseas, trying to recruit like European guys, and I think that's got a big jump in the last 5-6 years, and yeah, I mean like with like all those technologies, and I think we got a better exposure, because I think now like when there's a good players, I think you can, with the social media and stuff, like I think we get a better exposure than you had like in 10 years ago, and it kind of helped like to see the prospect, and some guys don't have a chance, those chances, and there was like great players still in France. I still think we can have a better exposure, like with the media. We can like more like in the United States, they're really good at it. You know what I'm saying? Like they start like they have like like the games go to a ESPN, like high school game, go to an ESPN and stuff like this. Like in France, we don't have this. Like when you're high school, none of the game go to like a French national TV channel. So I think the exposures make a big difference.
Okay, I agree, and and maybe that's something that I could look into later on. I mean, I'm all about like doing video projects. I'm a videographer. I mean, I have my channel, and then I'm familiar with overseas, and I've been gone over there. And so, only thing I see from France is overtime, but they're only following like the top guys. They're not following like the mid-level guys that are trying to get to college in the States. They're following like Sekou and Killian and those guys.
Yeah, and overtime just started like a year ago or two.
Yep. But I have seen them. Like I went to Greece last year, and I was at the I get them mixed up because I went twice, but I was at the under 18s.
18.
And overtime was there. And so, like I said, I've seen them around, and then they were here in Dallas following Sekou last year for the draft.
Yeah, and that's good. I'm happy for that because, I mean, when I was in high school, like no overtime, nobody was here to record, sound the tape, had photo exposure, stuff like this. So it kind of really started to develop now. So.
What is the difference in skills improvement between INSEP and Tennessee?
That's a good question. Well, so the biggest difference between Tennessee and INSEP is just the facilities. So, like in INSEP, so you got your training, you got a schedule. So you have a practice on the morning. I don't remember really, but like 11, I think, something like this. Then you have a second one like at 6, and between both you have classes. And so you have like 2 times you practicing 2 times. So like it's 2 hours. So 4 hours total. And like here, you practice on the morning, like early, like around 6, 7. Then you go to class. And then once you're done with the class, like at 1 p.m., you got all the afternoon, all the night to go practice. And the gym is still open. So like you have 100% of the time access to the gym, to facilities to shoot with somebody who's a manager, so you can get you rebound, or coaches that are available can tell you to do what to do. And you can come back like anytime if you want. In INSEP, you got only two times you can go to the gym, and after that it's closed. So you can be by yourself, shooting by yourself. So I think that's the biggest difference between Tennessee and I think the staff is just a matter of staff. In INSEP you have like 2 coaches for a team, and you have like 60 players, and 4 coaches for 60 players, 2 by each team. But like here you have like 10 guys, you have like 10 managers, so the practice are just way better because of the staff, the availability, and if you want to shoot, you just call somebody and he'll be here like to help you, to work out with you at any time. So
in the States, and here we have high school, then college. So can you explain what INSEP is to those that don't know?
So INSEP is more like high school. I mean, it's a high school level, but the good thing about INSEP is that you get to play when you're like 15. You get to play against pro bowlers, so like National 1, and those are pro bowlers. Those come from the Pro B or Pro A sometimes. Mm-hmm. So that's a big advantage to get to play against a pro guy, because you get a good experience, and of course you lose a lot, but like you learn a lot at the same time. So that's a good deal, I think. And college basketball is kind of higher than INSEP, because I think college is you can be really to the Pro B, I think. Yeah. And it's a different style of play too, because it's a different culture, and the pace is different, the style of game is different too.
So what made you decide to want to attend college in the States as opposed to playing Pro B?
So I had the choice to go pro or not, or to go college basketball. And for me, like, since I was in this process, like, studying and play basketball at the same time since I'm 11 because I want to what they call sport and study. I don't know, like kind of the same thing as inside, but like for middle school. So
Okay.
I want when I was 11, so I was studying and playing basketball at the same times. And until my 17, like my last year in the INSEP, I was in the same process. So like for me, like studying is important because after a career, you have to find something, you have to have a job or something, you have to have a diploma so to get a job. So I didn't want to quit my studying because, when you go pro, when you turn pro, they tell you all that you're gonna play basketball and you can study in the same time. Blah, 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 blah. Actually not. Like it's impossible because here, like school are not related to the basketball. Like when you play in pro, so there's no way you can play basketball and go have a diploma. So that's why I want to coach basketball because I wanted to keep studying and get a diploma and get a degree and play basketball at the same time. So that's why I did that.
You were injured in your first year in Tennessee. How did you feel when you returned to injury?
Well, so my injury started when I was in INSEP and I had a problem with my ankle and with other some like tendon on my right knee. Well, it kind of sucks, but I think once I get here, like the strength coaches, like the trainers, the clinic are so good that like over like a month, I got back to the court, and that was a big difference compared to INSET because and yeah, I mean it was kind of frustrating because I missed a lot of the summer school because of visa and paper problems. So I missed the summer school and half of the starting of season, and for me it was tough because it was my transition here and speak English, couldn't understand English, so that was pretty tough. And that's why I didn't get to play much. I didn't have a good opportunity to be on the court. So my freshman year was a year, the transition here, so I have to adapt.
So you're saying you didn't speak or understand English that well when you got here, or did you know any English at all?
When I get here, like my English level like sucks, like really, like and so I couldn't speak really. I understand a little bit, but like slim, like not almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a big challenge. I mean, and I did a good job, I think. Try to figure that thing out and trying to learn every day. So.
Well, you've come a long way. I mean, your English is good, and I mean that's less than 3 years ago. So you made big strides. Like for me as a person, I'm obviously American, and I mean I've had opportunity to live in different places, but picking up and learning another language sounds like the hardest thing for me because there's so many words and so many, like tones, for example, and then I even forget. When I lived in Turkey, I still only know how to say merhaba. Merhaba. That's it. So I wish I could learn another language or
Yeah.
taking the time to do it. But I imagine like coming in at 8 years old to another country, learning a different culture on top of a different basketball language barrier. I imagine that was tough, but I mean, you stuck it out and here you are 2 years later, you're an NBA prospect. So props to you for sticking with it when it was tough, because I imagine it was a difficult transition.
Yeah, it was tough.
What do you think are the pros and cons of your game?
The pros and cons for my game?
Yeah.
Like my weakness?
Yeah, strengths and weakness.
So my weakness, I would say the ball handling first. I think the way we play in Tennessee doesn't require to have a good ball handle, so especially when you play the four, because we pretty much play with 1-2 dribbles maximum. Mm-hmm. So I don't get to, because I work a lot, like in my last 3 years, I work a lot on my handles, and I think I really got better, but, it was using 2 or 3 dribbles. one or two dribble, I don't get to expose that much. So, but that's just something I can improve. I can get better at. I think another weakness is shooting on a high consistency. I think I got better shooting the ball, like my mid-range threes. I took a big jump from last year's, and but that's just something I can do to another level, a higher level, be more consistent. So I should this year I should like 30, 34, 45% on threes. I think that's just something I can get better, and I'm trying to reach like 38, 39. So I believe I can get there, and if I still work hard on it, and that's what I'm doing. So those are my weaknesses, and my strengths are more like, so like offensively, I like this turnaround a lot, using my athleticism to get over the defender, playing fast, run the floor, really cut without the ball, cut on behind the back and stuff like this. Like, so like uh, my biggest skill on offense is like playing without the ball, move around, because I think I'm good at reading my defender, reading the other guys, where everybody at on the floor. So that's pretty a strength for me, like in offense. Defensively, well, defense is my biggest part of the game, because I love great defense. I love getting proud, stopping the other guy, stopping the best player in the other team, and that's one thing I really love to do. I mean, I can guard anybody. So like I can guard like point guard and centers guy. I've been doing this year, and I can pick up somebody full court. Really guard anybody and anywhere, and that's something I really love to do. Blocking shots, stuff like this. That's my biggest strength.
Yeah, so like I've watched your film, and I would agree that ball handling would be just because like you improve tremendously as a shooter, and so the next step is teams are going to close out on you, and then the ability to attack the closeout, put the ball on the floor, whether it's like the one dribble pull up, and then we all know that you're an athletic freak, and once you get in the paint, no telling what can happen there. So I agree with the ball handling is the next step for you to be able to create, because teams aren't going to leave you open anymore, especially, they know that you do. But then defensively, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, how did it feel when they named you the defensive player or the SEC defensive player of the year? Because defense is something that, to me, it's pride. I mean, of course, you have to have the tools athletically to be a good defender, but you have to have like the mentality of, I'm locking this man up. So how did it feel knowing that all your hard work on defense was noticed, and when you won SEC Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah. So, when I get here, my son Coach Walsh, he told me I could be one of the best defensive players in the country. Mm-hmm. And since then, like, I really started to focus on my game on the defensive hand. So I was a good defender when I was in INSEP, but I wasn't really focused on it. I was just playing defense. And like coming here, like I really started like to be like focused 100% all the time, because I knew like my freshman and sophomore year with the guy on this team, I know my worry offensively won't be like the first option. So I was more focused like on defense, guarding anybody, picking everybody. So like after my game, I watch videos of defensive players all the time, and when my junior year, I really wanted to be that defensive player, like be the best defensive player in the country, and getting the SEC defensive player in the country, that was like a big step on my goal, And because it doesn't mean I'm the best defensive in the country, because I don't get the national one. So, but that was a big step. I was really happy to earn that one, because I lived for that. And defense, like you say, it's a mindset. I think for me it's the easiest part of basketball, because you don't have the ball on your hands, so you don't need to worry about turning over or stuff like this. And for me, it's just like a challenge every time I get to guard the ball, got to the best defensive player, offensive player. Just like, all right, it's you and me, and like I'm gonna lock you up. You know, it's just like this mindset. It's like the will to play defense, and of course I have like this athleticism, so I use that. I have a great length, so kind of bother a lot of people. And you know, it's just like, yeah, it's a mindset. It's like reading and reacting, and I still think I can do a better job playing defense, like playing more anticipation than reaction. So there's still another level to get to.
Who is your idol as a defender? You know, Rudy Gobert is a great defender, and what are you think about his defense, and what are you think about your future as a defender?
Can you say again?
You know, Rudy Gobert is a great defender, and he is too French. And what are you think about him, and what are you think about your defensive future?
Okay. Well, yeah, Rudy Gobert is a good defender because he's tall, like he's huge.
Wingspan.
Yeah.
And so that help a lot, like to getting blocks and stuff like this. But I think there's more complete defensive player than that in the NBA. And I think for me, it's not playing defense not about blocking shot all the time, and it's more like about stopping, making a stop when you need a defensive stop. You know, you're not gonna put Rudy Gobert on Stephen Curry, for example. Because he's too big, he doesn't have the feet, he doesn't move fast enough. So it's something you're gonna put, I don't know, maybe PJ Tucker, you're gonna put Kawhi Leonard or Patrick Beverley on him. You know, those guys like the smaller guy that can guard like the 2, the 1, and the 3. You know, and I think those guys are more complete in terms of defensive skills. You know, because they're not tall, but like they're smart, they're quick, they anticipate, and yeah, so that's it.
And that's where I think that your defensive versatility will, you know, open so many doors for you in the NBA, because right now it's a lot of switching. And so you have the athleticism and the feet to go out and defend multiple positions. So, and then you have the strength to defend a lot of small ball fours. So I see you as a guy that will be able to come in and help a team, especially like a team like a Houston, for example, that likes to switch everything. But I think your shot blocking is so underrated. Like you're a very good shot blocker for a wing defender. And there's not a lot of guys that can switch 1 through 4 and block shots. So in a sense, you kind of remind me of Robert Covington. And I don't know if you got a chance to watch Houston this year when they started playing small ball, but he was like blocking shots. He's blocking like 2 shots a game playing the 4. And I see like kind of a similar, just a similar style. And I mean, Robert Covington is going to make a lot of money in the NBA. I think he just signed for like 50 or 60, and he still has another contract left. So how does it feel knowing that if you could just even have the same trajectory as a Robert Covington, that you could possibly make $100 million in your career?
You know, I think that's the only thing I want, you know, because I just need an opportunity to show that I can guard anybody on the court, and I think I will earn my spot like this. I'm not a big offensive player. I still think I can improve my skills, my bags, and get better offensively and be really a threat. But like my game's in the defense. So I know for like the teams, the NBA are looking at guys like, especially the first couple of years, like they're looking for guys that can play defense, rebounding, and have versatility, and offensively can make shots. And that's pretty much who I am right now. And I still think I can go to another level on all of that. But like, yeah, like you said, my game is more like you say, playing defense, blocking shots, and playing like the player I kind of see myself in the NBA is like PJ Tucker for real. Like PJ Tucker is a dog on the ball, and he can guard anybody on the court. He's physical. I want to be this version of PJ Tucker, but like with more athleticism, more versatility, you know.
What's funny about PJ is I watched him in college. You know, he was a center in college.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, he played 5. Then I think he spent like maybe 4 or 5 years overseas and developing his outside shot. And I mean, I think he has an awesome story from going from a 6'5" center to having to go to Europe to develop his game, and now he is just a major piece to a puzzle of a good team. And even though offensively he doesn't do anything but stand in the corner, he's still
in the corner. You're ready.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So as a defensive player, and SDC had some pretty good offensive players this year, who was the toughest player to guard for you?
There's a couple. First one was Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is just he's different. It's a big challenge. It was a big challenge. I didn't get to play defense much against him because I had to guard the 4. But every time I got it on him, like I tried to make everything hard for him. And I think I kind of bothered him a little bit. But you know, this game against us, he still got 30 plus. And I think that was tough to stop him. I mean, we didn't, and I think we could have done a better job, but this time wasn't the day. The second one is Mason Jones, the guy from Rutherford, Arkansas.
Yeah.
I think personally, on the first game at Arkansas, I did a good job on him, defensively, and he didn't get anything. But like the day we play at home against him, he was unstoppable. Like I was playing defense against him, and I had my hand on the ball all the time, and like he just jump over, like fadeaway 3, stuff like this on the burst, stuff like this. So like I was like nothing I can do like to stop that guy. Like when he was in his bag, he was on the zone. So like when somebody's in the zone, like it's like tough like to stop him. Like so I think those two was my biggest challenges and the toughest one to play defense against. I think as a bookie from Kansas was tough too because you know he's the footer is like 280 pounds, something like this, and like he's heavy. So like it was tough. It was tough.
He doesn't seem to miss. I want to say he shot like over 75% from the floor. So he's not gonna make shots.
So yeah, tough.
And what is your all-time 5 defensive
player of all the time?
Yeah, all-time 5 from defenders, like all time.
All right, so I'm gonna put Kawhi Leonard, Gary Payton,
GP.
It's tough. I'm gonna put a big guy. I would take Rudy Gobert. So that's 3.
Pippen.
Scottie Pippen. I'm gonna go with Scottie.
Yeah.
And I'll put I need a guard. I'll take PG Tucker.
Okay.
All right. So this whole COVID-19, it obviously ended the basketball season early, especially for the college guys. How has it impacted you as far as like the draft process?
So this situation has big impact on my process going to the NBA draft because, well, I'm somebody that really counting on the workouts, and for guys like me that we're seeing on the second round, going to the workouts, it's a bigger help because you can get on the ranking, and I know for me like going to the workout, I know I can show my explosiveness, my athleticism, and even my ability to shoot to high consistency because I was shooting good, and I know I can show that I can be even better at shooting. And so going to the workouts, that was something I will maybe go higher than like get 10 ranking higher, you know. So like for me, I could go from the second round to the first round going to the workouts, and like with no workouts, and they put interviews instead of the workouts. So I like the interviews, but like it doesn't show anything about your game. So kind of tough for me to know to take a decision. And it's really a 50-50 situation. I know there is like some good to coming back to the university, but there's some good social NBA right now. So it's really a tough situation, tough choice to make. So I'm just right now I'm just waiting for more information. And I know the residual date is August. It's like in 3 weeks. So
Yeah.
it's
Here's where I'm like, so I can see on one hand where you can say the workouts will help you a lot, but then also I feel like the workouts could hurt you because if I'm an agent, why would I want to have my player work out against you? You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm representing a player, right? And you guys work out together and he's supposed to be an offensive player and you guys work out for, let's say, the Sixers, and they tell you guys to play one-on-one and you lock him down and he can't score, it's going to hurt my guy's stock. So I could imagine teams dodging you or agents dodging you in workouts because they don't want their player to look bad against you because you're such a good defensive player. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So yeah, so think about, like if my guy has a glaring weakness as far as being physical, but he's an offensive player, but he doesn't like somebody that's just as athletic or being physical in his face. And I don't want him working out against you because you're going to embarrass him and you're going to lower his draft stock. So I think in a sense, being such a good defensive player can hurt you in certain like one-on-one workouts. Now, individual workouts, I think you definitely do fine. But it's hard to measure a great defensive player in a workout where there's nobody playing offense.
Well, I kind of get your point, but I don't know if it's gonna hurt me because that's who I am and in terms of career. So like,
but they can't. Like if there's nobody playing, if your calling card is going to be defense, right? And let's say again, I'm an agent and they tell me, hey, you got to work out with Yves Pons, and I say, well, no, he's going to embarrass my guy. We'll schedule it to another day. So that team doesn't get a chance to see you work out live on the defensive end. And so, like, I've even seen it on the opposite end with, like, great offensive players. Like, there's a story that Nate Robinson, when he was in the draft, he was beating everybody one-on-one because you can't guard Nate Robinson in space and unlimited dribbles. And so he kept beating guys one-on-one. So teams started pulling out those workouts because nobody wanted their prospect to get beat one-on-one by a 5'9" guy. And so I think on the defensive end, it can happen also because you'll shut somebody down one-on-one, and some agents may be scared for that matchup. And so if I'm a team, I want to see you play defense. That's what I want to see, you play defense in space. And I think some people may be scared of you because you have such a good reputation as a defender. They may be scared of you.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right. But in the same way, like teams, like let's say I did a couple of workouts, and like there's still like I don't remember his name of that guy, but like kind of like me, was like great defensive player, and he didn't get much workouts with the teams, and like his coach, he was talking with like NBA guys and stuff, and he asked them like if they could use the player as not to see him, but more like as defensive guys, so like the other guy can play offense on him, like and like so he wanted there. I don't remember the team either, but and he played so great defense. That guy, he got drafted higher than the other ones that the NBA guys was looking for, and that's a great thing too, because he wasn't planning to be on these workouts, and he ended up like getting drafted higher. And
It's
So
a
that's, I think that's a win. I mean, because at some point, like the Saints want to see me work out, and
yeah.
I think I would not get so many interviews if they didn't want me to see me. So at any moment, I know it was like maybe on this process, maybe one or two team will be like, I don't think agents can be like have this much of power on the teams to not see somebody, and I think can work for one or two teams, but like overall, the team wants to see a play defense, like so because that's what they're looking for, you know.
Well, I think a lot of agents like to hide their players. Their job is to get their player to be in the best position. And so I'm thinking if I'm an agent,
Mm-hmm.
I don't putting my
And
player in the best position to get
I feel
drafted.
like the 15 draft pick, like the lottery guys, I kind of see that game in because they don't want to get embarrassed by a second rounder, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Like, they won't, that's why most of them doesn't do like workouts or don't even go to combines because the agent will be like, man, if you mess up or if somebody is better than you, so you might lose a spot or two. So
yeah,
that's why like you said, but like guy like me, guy like second rounder, it's in their interest like to put them out there because that's the only way, you know. But I feel you what you're saying. Like for the first, high first rounder, I know it's better for them like to be to be high because if they put somebody, if I'm against them, like for me, like it's be like the chance of my life. You know what I'm saying? Playing
that's
like
what you
again,
want.
like Anthony Edwards again. So like I'm be like, all right, the first time you go me, this time I got you. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's I know what you're saying, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been interested in the whole cat and mouse games that agents play with during the draft, and I've heard different stories of, like if there's a favorable matchup, an agent will say, "Well, we want to work out with this guy because we know that this puts us in a good position." But then I've also heard like players tell me, like, I remember one guy told me once he was going to work out with two like really athletic guys, but he wasn't athletic, so he was like, yeah, if they ask me to do a windmill, I can't do a windmill. I'm a shooter because I'm gonna look bad if they put me doing some crazy athletic testing. But if you have me play one on one, then that benefits my favor because there's some guys who are athletic, but they're not good one on one scorers. So it's just a crazy like cat and mouse game. But like I said, I was thinking along the terms of if I'm an agent, I do not want my player working out against you because you are
It
a
makes
dog.
it,
You're
yeah,
gonna take money out of his pocket.
it makes sense.
Yep.
I have a question for Pons off court life. What is your hobbies? What are you doing on your free time?
Um, so I like to do different stuff. I'm not somebody that play video games. So like, if I can go out, I go out. I love taking pictures because I'm a big fan of photography. I have a big camera, and so I spend all my time like taking pictures. This thing right here,
Oh wow. What do
Oh,
and
you
wow,
yeah,
great.
see? Wow, that's some
yeah,
pretty high power lens you have there.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That one's is the best ones. I love that one's my favorite. And so yeah, I kind of save my money for this kind of stuff right here. So I really follow photography. I just did a shooting yesterday. I'm about to do another one today again. I just love it. I mean, I spend good time with people and with my wife, and but it's something I love it. And well, I was saxophone. I played saxophone when I was studying five. So I play saxophones sometimes. I like to do that. I love to cook too, and yeah, that's it.
Wow. So
Uh,
this is the last question.
mm,
I know you probably have stuff to do. Um, so you're married. You're 21 and married, which
yeah.
is rare. What made you decide to take such a big adult step at a young age?
Well, you know, I'm a metric guy, so and well, I didn't plan anything. Like I didn't expect myself to get married when I was 18 because I got married 2 years ago, and so I didn't plan that. But well, I found my wife like here in the United States, and she's French, and she was doing exchange studies in New York. and we kind of met like randomly because in the same weekend she was in New York, and I got to invite her to see a couple of games of Frank because I know Frank, and he was like, "I come to see a game." So I was like a full weekend, and I went over there with my mentor Raphael, and we both go over there. And after that, after the game, we went out, and Frank has a friend, a French guy, and he knew Leticia, he knew Leticia is my wife, he knew all the girls, and he invited them, and that's pretty much how we met, and that was really randomly, and it's like you know when you know it's the right one, it's the right one. So like we kind of get married really quick, and I mean that was the best choice, the best of my life. So when you know it, and I'm not somebody that mess around, that going to trying to get as many girls as you can and stuff like this. I always been in big long relationship, and that's it. I mean, I knew she was the right one, so why not?
And what is your favorite music, film, and book?
My favorite music is a type of music, or like I have to give a specific song.
A type of music.
Okay, well, my favorite type is reggae. So like I listen a lot of Bob Marley. I'm a big Bob Marley fan. Books, I would say Relentless. I'm good to Great to Unstoppable. I don't.
That's what Jordan's trainer, right?
Yeah, Jordan Stress, Bobby Trainer. Um, and movie, I think I would say Remember the Titans.
Yeah. And do you have any favorite photographer?
Favorite photographer? Not really. I like the work of Peter Coulson. I like the monochrome, so like the white and black, and I like the way you use the different shade of gray and black and the lights. But otherwise, I don't really focus on photographer. I kind of scroll on my Instagram page and just I love to watch like different type of photography. But I think Peter Coulson, that's the name, stick in my head. So
Yeah, I like.
I asked because
Go ahead.
Aita Garcia Reneses, Alba Berlin head coach, he's a really good photographer. I don't know you know him, but
who?
he's too is Aito Garcia Reneses, Alba Berlin head coach.
Album.
He's Aito Garcia. Probably you know him, but don't remember now. He worked 40 years in Europe.
Okay, is it like a sport photographer?
No, he is head coach, but he is nature photographer.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know him. No.
Okay.
I do a little photography also, but I just don't edit. Like I tell people, I'll take your pictures. I have the camera, and I'll just send you all the rough photos, and I'll let you edit. Because most people just want pictures for Instagram anyway, and they just
Yeah.
use the filters there. But editing, I can edit video all day, but I just don't have the patience to edit photos.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. I used to take the raw picture and just put it on my on iPhone right away and send them to people. But like since I started to use Lightroom this year, and it changed pictures, like
Yeah.
change the photo because I don't like Photoshop and stuff like this, like where you change all the thing that you have in your frame. But like using like some setting with lights and exposure and stuff like this, it really help to grow your pictures up. I don't spend a lot of time on editing because it's so boring, and so I just set my preset and just put a one button, and that's it. It's pretty easy. So, but yeah.
Well, man, I really, really appreciate you taking your time out, sit down and do this interview. Kuzey, thank you for setting up this interview. And again, like I say, I'm high on your game. I definitely think that you could help a team out immediately just with your defense. And then obviously you have the work ethic because, you know, teams can see the growth that you've made from sophomore year to junior year. I'm personally hoping that you stay in the draft. I think that, well, of course, the fans in Knoxville probably don't want to hear that, but I think you can help a team out because, I mean, defense is something that everybody's looking for, especially switchy defenders. But then a switchy defender that can protect the rim and knock down open shots, I mean, there's not a lot of those guys in the league. So I'm hoping, yeah, definitely hoping that you stay in the draft. Hopefully we can do another interview as the summer goes on and just kind of keep up with your progress and what you're doing as far as the workouts and your status. So once again, thanks for coming on. And like I said, hope to have you as a guest in the near future.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for having me and spending time with me. That was pretty cool.
All right, cool. All right, well, this is Raphael with NBA Draft Junkies signing out. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, we're out.